thank you for taking the time to download and listen to this podcast from Celtic Underground. You are possibly picking this up on theceltigunderground.substack.com. If you are a paid subscriber, you can link your account to wherever you pick up your podcasts, whether that be Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever, and you can pick up the subscription feed where you get your normal feed. Just go on to Substack on the website and follow the instructions. Meantime, this is Andrew H. Smith in conversation.
Hi, welcome to Celtic Underground, and it's a great pleasure to have, I don't know if he's old enough to be called a national comic treasure for Scotland, but he's getting that way, even if I'm giving him 4 years. So what a wonderful pleasure to welcome you, Sanjeev. How are you?
Thank you. I'll take national treasure in my house. I'm roped off with a velvet curtain, and you have to pay another £3 to touch me. So yeah, I'll take national treasure. Me and the Elgin Marbles, except I'm staying here. I'm not going back.
Is the rope kind of green and white kind of hooked, you know? Like, I'm surprised Celtic don't sell that in the Celtic shop.
No, I try not to exclude anyone, because when you reach national treasure level, you have to, include everyone, even people you don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not going to who they are.
A bog standard gold rope.
And we've got to, not so much address the elephant in the room, but this is us getting a wee bit topical, which we don't normally do, but we've got to address the container in the stand. Now, I see you went viral recently because you happened to be drinking a can of Iron Brew in the main stand. It maybe even was the posh seats, was it? Was it in the posh seats of a European?
Well, this was the issue. What happened was that I've got my good mate Richard. He lives in Australia, and so you come over once or twice a year, and we'll maybe try and catch a game when he's over. So he tried to get. He's not, he's in Oz. He's not had a season ticket for ages. I've never had a season ticket. I'm one of your plastic fans, and so
big game hunters.
To get a ticket.
As a mutual friend called you,
the prawn sandwich brigade, and so I did that thing of it. I did get in touch with Celtic PR. I said, look, I hate to be that guy, right? And I'm willing to pay. But is there any chance of a couple of tickets for? And I laid it on my mates over from Oz, and they never got back to me. I thought, well, that's fair enough, because I wouldn't get back to me either. And then, like, on the day, they said, "Oh, sorry, this slipped through the cracks. This should be okay now." Now, the thing was I was working that day. I wasn't meant to be, and I was working till 7. I was filming till 7 in Springburn, and I was a bit of a cuddle. I'm going to make it in time. I was going to meet my pal at Celtic Park. And it wasn't until I got there that I realised it was the good seats, because he picked the tickets up. He got there first.
Right.
So I got there, and again, I thought it was a 7:45 kickoff. So I'm panicking. It was an 8 p.m. kickoff. So I had 15 minutes, and I'd not eaten anything. So I went into the wee hospitality bit. I wolfed a plate of pasta, and I just grabbed a can from the chiller cabinet and put it in my jacket pocket, right?
Right.
I know. And I just went and sat. And Rod Stewart's here. Henrik's there. Dedrick Boyata's sitting in front of us. And my mate Richard's at that. Well played. I said, mate, I know. I got to thank Celtic for that. They really sorted this out. And I took the can out of my pocket, and being a plastic fan, completely forgot that you're not allowed cans. And someone took a photo. I didn't know they'd taken it, which is not an issue normally. And I don't think they're trying to catch me out. I think they just thought it was funny.
I think it was a joke.
Because I did the Iron Brew advert this year, so you know what I mean. And obviously,
wow, you can go back.
Celtic iconic football club, Iron Brew iconic Scottish drink, iconic Scottish brown man. And then probably about 30 seconds after that photo was taken, a very lovely steward said to me, and he handed me a plastic cup, and I decanted it.
Right.
So no, I was given a very slight kind of rebuke, but genuinely I didn't, And then it's quite funny because I gave the empty can to the steward, and I said to the woman next to me, I said, "Oh, I was going to slash you with that," but yeah, I wasn't actually going to slash anyone. I was having an innocent drink of carbonated water. I know it's funny though, because I think you need to be reminded now then of how vitriolic football Twitter can be, because I'm not on Twitter. I am on Twitter. I'm not I've not like deactivated my account. I'm done with it. But someone had said, "Oh, by the way, you're trending." So I thought I better check what's going on here, and then that's what it was. And oh my god, the level of bile
Oof.
from a lot of Celtic fans are like saying that shopkeeper strolls in with the stock, and I get frisked at oh god, oh no.
Oh,
So yeah, it's funny
yeah.
though. It's funny.
I had to stay off. I'm on it now to kind of promote this, the Celtic Underground. But when I was
Aye.
the 25 years at the Scotsman, I said, I'm not going on Twitter because some of the things that are brought to my attention that are said about me. And I said, do you want me to write about bigotry and sectarianism? And I'm willing to do so. I'll put myself out there, but I'm not putting myself out there to face, to see.
No,
Because you can't help looking. You can't help looking. If you're on, you look. But if you're not on, you don't look.
no, you don't. And the problem is that we live in a world now. Look, it's a bit of an arseache for me because I mean I managed to, with my very tortuous wordplay and D-list celebrity status, get up to 170,000 followers, and I'm
Yeah.
having to say, come join me in Blue Sky where I now have 700 followers. It feels much more like having a standing on a crate on Argyle Street with a megaphone, and so I'm annoyed by that. Elon's just ruined it for everyone because it was kind of getting that way anyway, and then whatever he did the algorithms, you just get these horrific people that weren't in your bubble, that were
Oh,
not in
yeah.
your silo, were crossing streams. You're like, me, I don't want to be pals with you. Why are you even following me? Algorithm. So I've sort of parked Twitter for a bit, which is a shame because I did, that's a lot of torturous puns, by the way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work put into that, and I just have to sort of like leave it. But what are you going to do? But football
Oh,
Twitter's
it's
the worst. I mean, because we
football
talk about
Twitter.
mental health, I've been public with my mental health issues in the past, and a lot of football clubs have gone public and support mental health, and obviously because we're talking about mental health of men, and football is still male dominated, it's important to target football and talk about people's mental health and talking about stuff. And then on the other hand, it seems you can say absolutely anything on Twitter and it doesn't matter about people's mental health, especially footballers. And that
Oh,
stupid
no.
argument, oh, they're paid well enough. Well, no one's paid well enough. No one
No.
is paid well enough for what comes at them. I've had a sliver of that kind of unpleasantness, and it's disgusting.
When I was at Celtic, and if you were walking out at the same time, this was in the 90s, so you can imagine what the whole atmosphere was like. It was pretty toxic, and you were walking out at the same time as some of the players sometimes. And see that even people say it's only on Twitter that people will do that. They'll never do it to people's face. But see what I saw: the players get into their
Mm.
face, and they're expected
Yeah,
not ever to react.
I know.
Some guy said, "You're a
That's
fucking arsehole." Like
yeah,
I saw it. I saw guys coming up to players and saying that, and the guy just says,
yeah,
he just has to walk away. Why do they always have to be the
yeah,
bigger person?
yeah. When Cantona did the kung fu kick, I
Like
think
a
a lot of us
celebrated.
had a bit. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe that will shut the rest of them up, because they're not paid enough to, no one's paid enough to take that kind of abuse. And you wouldn't do it if it wasn't a footballer. It's, I mean, you're right. It does happen in person, but they're even more
Oh, it's
entitled.
even more vile now.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
this thing, and I never saw it coming with social networking, where people, honestly, their opinions of their value that they place in their own opinions is so inflated. And it's usually
Yeah.
people that have no worth are
Mm.
suddenly given this platform and like, yeah, I'm going to say what I like because I matter. Well, what you've actually written in print implies that you really don't matter. But it's
Yeah. But
yeah. The
what?
best thing
What?
about Twitter is it's a democracy, and the worst thing about Twitter is it's a democracy.
In democracy. Yeah, the
Yeah,
world's biggest pub, people used to say. I mean, you think, would you go into the
yes,
world's biggest pub and talk to the real bore arse or the blowhard?
right,
No, you wouldn't. You would
yeah.
run a mile for that person.
But also as well, like in the old days, if you wanted to say something really controversial in public, right, there were a few steps you had to make. First of all, you had to take off your mother's nightie,
Yeah.
put on your own clothes, leave the house, and go to a children's playground with a megaphone. So that's a few decisions where you can say,
Yeah.
do you know what, bad idea. Whereas now it's like you could be sitting having a shite tweet, and just there's no filters, there isn't that same level of scrutiny, there isn't that same level of decision making. So yeah, a lot of stuff just you know, it's like being topical. Greg Wallace, take his phone off him before he digs to the center of the earth,
And
before he's
sharp
melted.
objects. By the end of the week, and
Oh,
sharp objects.
I know. Jesus Christ, just take his phone off him, take his crayons off him. Just, yeah, he's done enough.
But by the way, and my colleagues, some of them female, but if you've been in the football world in the last 35 years, you've met plenty Greg Wallace's.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
so
yeah.
These some of my female friends.
I've seen it firsthand as well. And
what's been said to them?
do you know what? I'm really pleased though that he made that first video about the middle class white women, right? Middle class women of a certain age, because that's the point Emma wants to make. You can only complain if you've got a safety net. And that's when the whole power dynamic comes in. If you say that to someone that wants to keep their job, of course they're not going to say anything. If you say it to an exec producer, or you say it to someone that's higher status perceived, and they've got a bit of protection, then yes, they will say something. And that person might be a bit older and might be, do you know what I mean, has been through, been in the industry for 15, 20 years and has a bit more confidence. So I'm glad he said that, because that's the conversation we need to have. It was the ones that did have the power that did nothing about it.
Yeah.
It was the exec producers that knew what was going on and still let him work,
Do you know, I had an instance like that, and we're sitting waiting for a player at Celtic Park, and they come through sometimes, the PR, and say to you, they said, it was Didier Agat, and the guy was sitting beside me said, "Oh, fuck, we're getting the spear chucker." And I went, what? I went, what did you just say there? And he started saying to me, you're a fucking little monkey, this and all that. They used to, the whole kind of, if you're with the Celtic side, you were the kind of beggars, you don't shower, all that kind of stuff. Part of that was maybe a wee bit true as well, in those days, like I was spending too much time down the pub. But anyway, so it went bang, 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 bang. And I said, you get out, because there was a pillar just behind us in one of those lounges, and it was Celtic's guiding principles or something.